We invite everyone to join the spiritual control in order to prevent a possible global world catastrophe. The technology was published in the newspaper Control Option Focused, number 9, October 2002. The article mentions the dates of October 2002, and the control comes from an earlier date, the end of September. But we can set any dates according to the current year. Salvation technologies work at any time. So, Moscow, the stream of salvation. Working with light opens up new possibilities. Moscow. Here, in order to prevent possible global catastrophes in October 2002, according to Grigory Grabovo's Focused, it's necessary to apply technology similar to that one used for Moscow last month. As the reader remembers, in the last issue of the newspaper, we cited the concept of the concentrated will of the city, which enables to mentally focus and fight back against a problem that arises anywhere else on the planet. This technology needs to be made more accessible. You can concentrate on the fact for example, on October 2025 in the city center, people collectively mentally tuned in and placed the luminous flags in the city center. You can call it the flow of salvation for all, the whole world, as your philological inclinations will tell you. But if you turn the flow back, as if scrolling time in the opposite direction from October 25 to October 20 and closer to the current time, then you can see how the light, having passed these numbers, begins to fall specifically on you, and you receive control technology from the work of the collective consciousness in the future. Activities to prevent global disasters can give a very real result. At the point where the light pole is installed, the environmental situation will be cleared and there will be no undesirable incidents. And plus, in terms of the task of saving everyone, this will become a consolidating action in other parts of the earth, Paris, Washington, etc. The same pillars of light will also appear there. The principle of simultaneity in the transfer of positive knowledge will appear, although people in other parts of the earth will not necessarily think and act exactly according to the described scenario. But the principle of positive knowledge always arises for certain forms, and therefore one can learn from these forms, just as, for example, Muscovites can learn from the form they created. Generally speaking, we get the principle of instant learning from a single action of collective consciousness. Moreover, a person self-trains in the place where he works, and a very precise chain is traced in the optics of consciousness. In each segment, it's clear what to do. It's like an accelerating escalator line. By the way, gravitational interaction works on the same principle. Thus, having combined two small elements with very tight compression, we still cannot crush one molecule by another. The principle is the same here. The higher we concentrate, the more creative system we make. So, in gravitational interaction, the effect of very strong compression of one atom with another gives a very rigid structure of the distribution of atoms. And here in gravity, we find not the principle of the usual and familiar acquisition, but a super powerful desire for each other, as for the creator, for the one, and from it technology arises, finding orientation in space, favorable development, and a rigid system of connections. This is why known chemicals don't change as they please. Iron remains iron, iodine remains iodine. If we move from the analogies in gravitational principles from the point of view of saving everyone, then it's further clear that a person, as a dynamic system, may well create new principles of activity at the level of collective consciousness and create very rigid, unchangeable systems, and precisely those that will work absolutely always and work more clearly than gravity itself. And if we know that the apple always falls, then in the created technologies, we can guarantee with the same or even greater reliability that our technologies will prevent a possible global catastrophe. This type of training is a training on the transfer of known systems from nature and space into collective consciousness and strengthening the reliability of its action in any situations.